good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Legend from the Past and the Future show. What's going on tonight, team? Janine, how you doing?
I am doing great.
Awesome. And how about you, Roger?
I'm doing good, my brother. Sitting up here just chilling, look excited about the show and our guests. Feeling sorry for people who got to get up and go work in the morning.
Come on, man. Tell you.
Thank you for feeling sorry for me because I got to get up every day.
Roger, I'm allergic.
I get up every day. I just don't go to work.
I'm allergic to that word work, man. That just makes me itch every time I hear it, man. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you're talking about because my brothers and sisters be so upset when I be talking about, I got fired from my last job, but they have to pay me for the rest of my life and give me a raise every January.
You guys are so blessed. I'm like trying to get there.
You're gonna get there, youngster. You ain't but what 32. You got time.
It's a long road.
Well, you know what? We got a lot of stuff coming up, man, and we're gonna discuss later on. We have an exciting guest. This is Women's History Month, and we have Maryland State. It's now called UMES, University of Maryland Eastern Shore, but it was Maryland State back then. But she's coming to us from Towson, man. You guys ready for her?
She in Towson? Oh, yeah, we ready.
You ready? Yeah, let's bring her to the stage. Coming to the stage is none other than Theresa Wilson. Theresa.
There we go.
Welcome.
Thank you.
How you doing, Miss Wilson?
Just wonderful and excited.
You know what? We're excited to have you. So now what we do first on the Legend Show, we travel back and come forward. So tell us where you were born and raised.
I was born August 24th, 1942, Baltimore, Maryland.
Or same place as me. That's what I'm talking about. That's my real home girl right there.
What hospital were you born in?
I was born in the vestibule on Stricker Street. They took me to Providence Hospital, looked at me, said she's okay, sent me back home. Then I heard a midwife came around and fixed me up.
I was in Providence too. That's where I was born, in Providence Hospital. What about you? Roger?
John Hopkins, because I was
special.
I was like, my mom had some medical issues, so I wasn't supposed to be born until I think January, and so they took me early because they couldn't hear no heartbeat. So I was born at 6.5 months, and it was like 6 of us that year in 1959, but I was the only one that survived.
Tell us about some of the things you used to do while growing up.
I used to play with my brothers football.
Oh, you played football?
I played football with my brothers, and only when adults weren't around, because girls weren't supposed to play football with the boys. Wow. I used to swim a lot. Before they built the modern pool, I used to swim in a place called Hanover Street, where it was not the best water, but it was water. And that's where we used to swim until they built the 2 swimming pools in our neighborhood. What else? Roller skating every Thursday and Saturday at the Coliseum in Baltimore.
Okay. Now, were you a fan of roller derby back then?
A little
bit,
yeah. But the way we used to skate, we were called the cute skaters. Yeah, we dressed up, and we did a lot of nice, fancy moves. Well, the last time I went skating was how long ago? 4 years ago. It was 4 years ago.
Nice.
And I said, "Oh no more."
Wow. How many laps around did you do?
I might have done about 6, and then I went and sat down the rest of the evening.
That's a lot on your legs. Did you skate backwards while
Oh yeah, I did a little bit of backwards, did the little dips and turns, and then I started thinking, boy, if you fall on this floor, those bones are not going to heal the same way they used to. So I said, let me just cutely skate off the floor and sit down and watch everybody else.
Cutely, that's what I'm talking about. Now, do you have a daughter named Lynette?
Yes, I do.
You know, she just got through sending you a message. She said, "Go, mommy."
That's my oldest daughter.
All right.
Yes.
So now, Theresa, what led you to Maryland State?
Well, the truth is, I had many college applications, and my dad said, fill them out, and just give them to me. I'll mail them. I'll put the little money orders in. My dad only sent out one application. I did not know that. No, it was a couple of years later, and I kept saying, wonder why they didn't respond and say we don't want you or anything. But it was like a couple of years later, and it was Thanksgiving, and one of my grandfather's sisters said, "Did your dad ever tell you what happened?" I said, "Well, no, what happened?" So my auntie told me what my dad did, and I'm so glad he did it.
Right.
Now, what was your major while there?
My major was, I had a double major, physical education and biology. And I loved the biology a lot. But I also loved physical education because I had a lot of science courses.
Wow. So now, before I pass it over to Deneen, where did you find time to become a cheerleader there?
Well, here's the story. I think it was my sophomore year when one of the professors said, "We're doing a study. Would you like to be a part of this study?" I said, "Oh, yeah." He said, "You'll get $5 for participating in this study." $5 was a lot then. Mm-hmm. And so I participated in the study. Reverend Nelson, that's who it was. And Reverend Nelson said to me, "Girl, I got to talk to you." And I said, "Okay." I said, because he was my sociology teacher. I said, "Oh, Lord, what did I do? I didn't plagiarize. What did I do?" So when I went to see him, he said, "I was trying to figure you out. You have ADHD. I said, "What's that?" He said, "It's what your mother did when you acted up. I said, "Yeah, I used to get a lot of spankings, a lot of punishments." He said, "But you know what? They used to call me Cheeks. Cheeks, we're going to teach you how to use your energy to keep it moving." And then later on, when I started studying psychology, I was like, whoa, this is me. I got all this energy. And that's how I found out a lot more about me, because every time they had some type of study on campus, I said, well, I'm going to do that because I get $5 here or $10 here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, before I give it to Deneen, I want to welcome Reverend Henson to the show. Welcome to the show, my brother. Are you, Deneen?
Hey, Reverend Henson. How you doing? I was just thinking, I wanted to think back about the skating ring, because the skating ring kind of used to be like the club, right?
Yes.
Right. And you remember any of the major songs they used to play? They had like some songs they would play when you were out there skating. I know one song was Roll Bounce.
Roll Bounce. Oh, yes.
Well, see, look, you can't move with it.
Yes, that was one. And who was some of the artists? They played a lot of
I mean, they play all
different songs.
All the music and stuff. I mean, I just kind of remember
who was popular at that time, they were playing their music.
Right. And, so that was like, skating ring was like the club, and then you outside hanging.
Right.
That was just nice. They don't do that anymore. They used to have it.
No, and then after skating was over, we all went to a place called Highs and got ice cream.
Yeah, we know. You don't remember Highs? Highs ice cream. Highs kind of like kind of like 7-Eleven, right? Like
Yes.
kind of like that. Yeah, I remember that. Ice cream. I guess the question. I have another question about
Yeah,
the.
7-Eleven is the reason why you don't have highs no more.
Oh yeah, they kind of maybe they bought them out, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, look, you know what they probably what they did was they went from like regular hours to 7-Eleven, and so other people couldn't do that. I mean, it's a lot trying to keep a store open for 24 hours. So that was just interesting. Did what I wanted to ask you about the Maryland State? Do you know when did it change over to UMES? Do you know?
No, I'm not too sure. I can't remember, but I know it was after I left.
Right.
And I left in 65.
So you graduated in 65.
I graduated in 1965.
So you were there. Was it? It was. I mean, it was a HBCU, obviously, right?
We had a few other folks there also.
Did
in
you?
Agriculture. Yeah, there were about 7 guys who were in agriculture.
That's interesting because I didn't know. I didn't realize that. I mean, I didn't know. Well, could you hear what you hear all the time now about HBCUs is that they didn't let us in. You know, they didn't. Well, so it was always open to everybody.
It was always open to everyone. Yes.
Yeah, I thought that was. I guess another question that I had was, what led you to biology? Like, and did you do anything like about it, like with it?
Okay. What led me to biology was I had all of these visions of graduating from high school to become a pediatrician. And I started reading more, talking to more, and my mom had a friend who was a doctor. So she said, I'm going to let you go talk to Dr. Luck. So that summer, I talked to Dr. Luck. And the first question he asked me was, how do you feel about blood? I was like, ooh. And then he asked me another one. He said, what about urine? I said, geez, I gotta do all that stuff. He said, no, I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna see a lot of blood. You're gonna see people who can't hold a urine. Then he said, and how do you feel about people who get sick on the stomach? And I said, that's what you see a lot of? I said, hey, Doc, I have to go think some more about my stuff, okay? And every time I thought about blood, I was like, no, I do not want to. I could cut up a frog. I could dissect those, but a human being, even when I went to get a needle injection myself, I'm looking the other way like, ugh. So I had a great vision in the beginning, and then I got to be realistic.
And that's how you did the shift over to physical education? Because you kind of like it. I said, and that's how you shifted over to physical education?
Yes. That's how.
You know, another question that I had was, you know, because of the time time was, I guess one of the questions that I have is, what made you think that you were going to go to college? Because when I was growing up, not people were going to college, and later on, like a lot of people were going to college when you guys were going, and then there was a big gap where people stopped going to college. So what made you think, you know, given the time that you knew, did you know you were going to college? Did your parents say you're going? I mean, what was your mindset?
Well, my mindset was I was ushered and invited to attend a certain high school, which was an all-girls high school called Eastern. And Eastern at that time had close to 2,000 girls in it. And so they were inviting certain persons that looked like me to come to that school. There, in the beginning, there were about 30 of us. And each year it kind of increased. And I started saying, I don't know what I want to do, but I know I don't want another experience like this one. And so I would talk to my mother. I talked to my mother, and my mother said, only thing you have to remember while you're at that school, no matter what people say, no matter what they call you, just smile and come tell me. And I did that for, what is it, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade. And I remember someone said to me, oh, you can get a job. Maybe you should try to become a secretary. You have super grades. You could become a super secretary. And I went home and I told my mom. My mother was 5 feet 5. I told her what happened. And she said, and did you say anything? I said, no, ma'am. Of all the creatures who walk this earth, I would never, I learned not to mess with Edith. Do what Edith said. So my mom went to the school, straightened out a few things, and she went to see the geometry teacher who had me every day to take the trash can down to the incinerator. And she said, no, my daughter can't do that anymore. She said she has health problems. So whatever obstacle I ran into, because I looked different, my mom would go fix it. And
Wow.
my mother said she was the one who had me apply to A&T. Every school that I applied to, college or university, we did not have a choice. My mom told me, he told my brother, she told my sister, you're all going to college. She used to say, even if I have to pick cotton, you going to college.
I love that. Yeah.
And then my dad, and I asked later in life, Mom, why'd you let Dad do that? And my father said, that's the only time she let me do something. So I'm so glad that they did. But in my family, my mother always pushed education. My mother graduated years ago from Kappa State when I was here, but she didn't go back to school until we were, I think I might have been in the second grade.
Mhm, mhm,
But
mhm.
but education has always been her thing. And the first job I got, she helped me get it. And the first job was working at Gino's restaurant, a teletray operator, and the evenings mopping the floors, cleaning the toilets. And then she would always say, you can get a raise, you can stay there. But she had it planted in my head, no, you're not going to stay in there. But she made sure I had that type of experience.
Right. Nice. Well, shoot. Go ahead, Roger. You got it.
I thought you forgot about me. But
I
anyway,
did.
because the name get on there, and I'm counting how many questions you asked. But anyway, so what was the bounce? Because I'm looking at your bio, and you bounced. You kept bouncing from Jersey to Baltimore. You at
Oh,
King, in Jersey. You had what is that? And then you in Baltimore. At the guidance counselor department head. And then you back at Jersey for Loyola. Baltimore was in Loyola in Baltimore. And then you had Jersey at Seton Hall. How many degrees you got? Because I lost count going up at 15, 20, 25. What's going on?
No. I have Bachelor of Science. I have a master's in education and then a master's in guidance and counseling and certificate of advanced standing. And I think I have 18 hours towards a doctorate degree. And the other part of that doctorate degree were my 2 children. So I had to make a decision. But we moved to New Jersey because I got divorced.
Oh.
But I was offered a super job. So I said, come on, we gone. And I stayed there for a while, but then my children started getting older. And I said, oh no. When I found my daughter was not going to her little brownie meeting and riding the subway, I was like, no, we getting out of this place. We going back to the country. So that helped a whole lot. And they even say, the older ones, that they're glad I came back to Baltimore.
Yeah, because I see that. So you taught in Baltimore. You was a counselor in Baltimore. And the Center of Movement Counseling Center. Talk to us about that.
The Center of Movement was a tutoring center. Oh, that was my baby. I started tutoring, helping students at home. And then I said, one day I said to my husband, hey, I saw a building I could rent. And he said, for what? I said, I'm gonna open my tutoring center. I said, I started doing all the paperwork. At the tutoring center, I had students who were, we call skill builders, who were the little folks like 3 and 4 years old. And they went all the way up to students who were in college. just recently, I've met some of the students that I used to tutor, and I met their children. And I was like, wow. Then I met another gentleman. He said, this is my granddaughter. And I said, your granddaughter? I said, how old are you, child? So I had to reflect back. But it was a tutoring center, and I hired students from Morgan State University to assist with tutoring. I did all of the planning, recruiting, and then I ran across a nice lady who said, hey, I have some free time. I'll help you with some of this. And so we stayed there for quite a while. And then I said, it's almost time to retire. And then I started giving more time to my youngest baby girl. And we closed the tutoring center. I retired from what I call employment completely for how many months? 2 months. And I just couldn't handle it anymore. So I said, no, I'm going to find something else to do. And then I started thinking, what do I really love a lot? I love being somebody's mother, but I don't want any children. I love being grandmother. I love being great grandma. No, I love you, but make sure you take kids when you leave.
Right.
But at this stage, I'm still tutoring, and I'm having so much fun doing it. And the children are, how do I say? The children are funny, and they keep me going. I've met a couple students that, I'm trying to think about what else can I do for them. I have a little student that is so intelligent and bright that she's reading on a 5th grade level, and she's doing 5th grade math. And so I said, okay, so every time when I meet the students, I'm always throwing in guidance and counseling, psychology, therapy, and all of that. So I'm really trying to work with what I call the whole child. And in some instances, I'm working with the parents. I've learned over the years to be a little, how do I say, what's the word I want to use? Calmer with parents. Yeah. Because those children do belong to them.
Right.
Well, the thing with parents nowadays, they're not much older than the children.
I know.
A lot of them, I'm 66, and compared to these kids, you compare it to she said baby. Oh my God. But anyway,
66.
Man, he said, say thank you.
I appreciate it. I know you're not talking to me. But anyway, so if I talked to, going back with these children, I'm a great grandparent. If I was going with that generation, and you do have to have patience, with them, because some of them are good and some of them, had their kid dropped out of high school or whatever case may be. But when you run into people that you trained them, because Anbd and I was in the military, I was a drill sergeant, so I run into these guys. A case in point, I'm with you on that. Last year, I went to a retirement ceremony of the regimental command sergeant major. He was in charge of all the chemical folk in the United States Army. I was his drill sergeant. And I can understand time waits for no one. I remember when this guy was an 18-year-old kid, ain't no up from down, left from right. And I was so proud of him that, that he reached that level, So whatever you taught those children and you counsel them, inadvertently, you're counseling their children and their grandchildren, because what they learn from you, they instill in them as well. So
good. That's good, Roger.
I'm going to say thank you, because that's just totally awesome. And I'm going to turn it over to Armand. But so far, just between me and you, I ain't going to say nothing to Armand and Denise. My questions was better.
They're on point. On point. On point. Yes.
Okay.
Now, Theresa. All right.
I'm mad, man.
Very robust resume here. But one thing that I have to ask you were a Kappa Alpha Psi sweetheart. All right. This was in 64. And from 60 to 64, you were a cheerleader. 64 to 65, you were Miss Maryland State. How did you manage to accomplish that? And what was your GPA while you were in school?
Child. Woo! My first semester in college, I had a ball, a blast, and my grades sucked. They were horrible.
Right.
And my mother said, "You can go back, but you know what? I better not ever see this again, or you out of here. You better find a full-time job to take care of you." So I went over to talk to the director of admissions, Miss Viola J. Woods. And I said, "Miss Woods." She said, "Yes, Miss Cheeks." I said, "Look, I need something and you can help me with it. I need to increase my number of hours, courses, so that my GPA can start moving up." And she said, "Oh, no. Do you know you're getting ready to get put on probation if you don't do something?" I said, "No, that's going to help me. I figured it all out." So we talked for a while. So she said, "All right, it's on you." So I took the first, that next semester I had 18 hours. The semester after that, I had 21. And I blew. I used to go to every party on campus early and leave. So the dorm was quiet and I could study. But it worked because one of the key things I've heard, you don't have to prove anything to anybody but yourself.
That's right.
God, and my mom used to say, God only gave you one life. What you gonna do with it? You gonna spend it like pennies, or you gonna make like you got silver dollars?
Wow.
So I said, Theresa, let's kick. And then I said, oh, at that time I had 3 roommates, and I always went to bed early, but I was up early. And I used to get on my roommate's nerves. So I found a little niche in the dorm where I could go study some more. I had all of this energy. So I said, what else can I do? Okay, I done studied. I'm tired. I'm going to come back to study. And so her name was Helen Woods. She said, Cheeks, come on, join cheerleading. I said, cheerleading? She said, you good in flipping and everything? I said, I got to wear them. I don't like those uniforms. But anyway, I joined. Best time I ever had. Right down front and center with the football players. It was just nice having a ball, acting rowdy and loud without somebody saying that's not the way to act.
Right.
So it was really super.
That is the way to act out there.
Yes.
You had someone at Maryland State who played NFL football, right?
Yeah. I knew somebody who used to play NFL football. Yes, San Diego Chargers.
Uh-huh.
What's his name? Charlie Stooks. He played for the coach too. Long time ago.
Wow.
Before they moved out.
Yeah. Before they moved out. Mm-hmm.
So now looking back on your time at Maryland State, is there anything you would have changed? And would Maryland State still be your choice of school to have gone to?
First of all, Maryland State would still be my choice of schools. Maryland State gave me what I needed because I left from a environment that was totally hostile to the way I looked. And Maryland State wrapped their arms around me. They loved me. They straightened me out also, because I had a little nickname also at Maryland State. And I learned how to not chop people up with my words. Yeah. But I would choose the same school. And if I could, I put the same people right back there again.
Wow. That says a lot.
Yes. It was just super. I grew so much as a human being. And then I learned a whole lot of how to become a lady. And Kappa, sweetheart, I love those guys. And, I know they love me too. Because when I became Miss Maryland State, they asked me about the coronation. Well, who's going to walk in your place? I said, I need to think about that. So I had the gentleman who was the librarian, his daughter, little girl. I think she was 9 or 10. She walked in my place as Kappa sweetheart during the coronation. And so I really didn't hurt any of my sorors' feelings by picking one of them and saying, why didn't you pick me? Or this or that. So that worked out. Yeah, I found time to pledge too.
I see. So now, is your husband next to you?
Yeah, he's right here.
Yeah.
You can ask it.
Did he go to school with you?
No, my husband, I met him through my brother. He was a best friend. He's best friends with my brother. And I was just like, okay, I'll talk to him another time. And we went to a bull. What was it? The bull? No, it was a trip to Florida, Disney World. That was it. Yeah.
Kicked them to the curb.
The bull roast was second. I don't know. But anyway, he was a best friend of my brother's. And I thought he was kind of cute. And he kept on paying me a whole lot of attention. And I think that's why we still together, because you're still paying attention.
That right there. There you go.
Yeah,
Consistency is the key.
Man, I'm trying to tell you. We're going to talk about that Miss Maryland State stuff, but I'm going to pass it to Deneen, okay?
Okay.
I thought we were having a commercial break. Okay, so one of the questions I had was, because you had a physical education degree, did you ever coach? Did you ever think about coaching?
I thought about it, but I had too many other things that I was trying to do, but I really thought about it a lot.
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, I mean, if you want to like be honest about it, you were coaching. By tutoring is coaching, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you were coaching. And so just to go back to what Roger was saying, those the kids never forget you and you never forget them. Is there one kid in particular that stands out in your mind?
Talia Day. Talia Day stands out in my mind.
What's about her?
Oh my God. This is a child who I knew from age, she was 3 when she first came to Skill Builders. Talia's in college now, and Talia has overcome so much. Good family, good background. She had a few health issues, but you're talking about a student in college. She would call. She said, "You got to work with me on my praxis," and that's all she would say. And here she'd show up, no matter what it was. And I love that kid. She has such strength and what I call intestinal fortitude, no matter what. It might knock her down for a little bit. And then she also has the love of God. She loves to study. Oh, and she's teaching me a whole lot. That's one of my favorite. That's the oldest, but I do have another favorite. She's a 7-year-old. Oh my God. So I tried to be really firm with her. I'm still working with this little 7-year-old who is, she's blessed. God blessed her with that intellect. And God blessed me to be able to say, whoa, I can help her do this and that. No matter what I give her, she figures out a way. I can talk to her. I sometimes say, no, look at the computer, figure it out and tell me what you figured out. And then I have to also remember she's just 7 years old. Her social skills are little girl skills, but her intellect is so super.
Now when you do your tutoring, what exactly are you doing? Are you doing like whatever they need, like math? Are you doing a basic subject or anything? Are you doing
my major emphasis with the students is math, and they call it language arts, English. But with the older ones that are in high school, I'm running into geometry and algebra. Mm-hmm. And the college ones is pretty easy. That English 101, that's not too bad. But my emphasis is I always pay a lot of attention to the Maryland State Common Core standards. However, I'm finding that most of the students missed so much. So I'm trying to build that bridge to get them where they should be, because when I look at the statistics on dropouts, I'm looking at the 9th grade.
Right.
Yeah,
They don't,
and I'm
they
saying,
don't go to high
and I used
school.
to say something's wrong, something's wrong. So what I basically do is I try to plug up the holes. And when I say plug up the holes, my students will tell you she makes us learn it. And when I see them, we might be talking about something in English, and I say, "How much is 13 times 12?" That's like that little seven-year-old little girl. She knows her multiplication facts in her head up to 20.
Wow.
Yes, that I am blessed to be able to work with a child like that.
Nice. That's good
So,
stuff.
so let me step in for a second. Roger's having problems with his Wi-Fi. So
Can we take breaking news?
we're gonna take this time right now to do our breaking news.
Just being me.
Real quick, I'm going to talk about our event that's coming up. We have an event coming up next Saturday at the Mount Olive Life Community Life Center. It'll be our annual awards dinner. We're going to be giving out 4 awards to 4 honorees, man, legend honorees. We're going to give an award to Carol Jensen for being our male honoree. We're going to give an award to Carly Finney being a female. We're going to give an award to Michelle Finney for being our youth legend, future legend of the year, and none other than Memphis. Memphis is our male future legend of the year. And for the first time, we're going to be giving out a lifetime legend award to the family of the late D. Good. Again, that will be at from 6 to 10 on the 21st. Tickets are $50 in advance and $55 at the door.
Okay, I guess that's me. Armand, you want me to take it?
You got it.
Okay, so what we're seeing right now is our new show that's coming up on Sundays. We got another show coming in, and it's called We Are Better Together When We Connect, Communicate, and Collaborate. And it's going to be led by myself and my daughter. It's a mother-daughter duo. We're going to be talking about relationships and how interacting with each other is makes us all better, really. So we're going to be having coaches on there. We're going to have therapists on there. We're going to be talking about effective communication. We're going to be talking about the different love languages. We're going to be talking about the attachment style. So we're going to be doing a lot of things to help people to communicate better and to help make each other better.
All right. Now let's get back to our interview. We have a few more minutes left. So, Deneen, were you finished?
No, Roger went away for a minute. You can go ahead, Roger.
The weather is so horrible down here. I apologize about that. I just moved to another spot in my home. But Theresa, I see when we was talking about the roller skating thing, and you talked about the spankings. In my house, I didn't get a spanking. I got a whipping. And my dad never put his hands on my sisters. That's why they are. All they got was punishment. You know, soon he raised his voice, they start crying. I'm sitting in the corner, hit her. But he never did.
Same thing.
And, because everybody in Annapolis used to go skating at Pasadena skating rink. Everybody's up there on Sunday night.
That's right.
So with all of the institutions that you went to and all the education that we got, we know that Maryland was your favorite, right? So what was your second favorite when it comes to learning in all the institutions that you attended?
My second favorite was when I can remember 6th grade, and our elementary school was overcrowded. So they moved us to a Presbyterian church, and I did 6th grade and 7th grade in this Presbyterian church. And Miss Dorothy Barrick and Mr. Woods. Yeah, those were the teachers. And it was just nice. It was super. We had a special place to eat. It wasn't the cafeteria. The individuals from the church would come and fix lunches for us. It was really nice. And walking to that building, it might have taken me no more than 10 minutes at the most to get to school those 2 years. And it was just super. And there were times where I would go to that church's Sunday school, and then my mom would pick me up to take me to our church, which was not Presbyterian. But those were some times then.
It's always good to remember the great times and the good times, especially at the same time you're learning. I found when Arm and I both had been instructors in the military. I found when you got somebody that you're teaching a subject that they like, they really learn it. You get some of them in there, the only thing they learn enough is to pass the test, and then, but you get those who are really into it, and they really learn something, and they carry it with them throughout their careers, in your case, education, in our case, military, so it's always good to be, I taught drill sergeant school as well, but it's always good to me to see the outcome, for lack of better terminology, of your product. You had this person and they like a lump of clay. And you're sitting up there and you form them as much as you can. Some form they have to do on their own after they leave you. But then when you run into them later, like you did with the young man, and you see the finished project, someplace in your mind, you got to say, I did that. You got to say it, in your mind. You may not tell him, I did that. If it wasn't for me, you don't tell him that, but in your heart, if it wasn't for you instilling what you instilled in that individual, they would not be where they are today. And you have to have a sense of pride in that, especially when it's not your children. Because your children will do what you say and you'll knock their head off. So when you're dealing with other people's children, it's a little different. And obviously you had definitely been the queen of that area, and representing us as well, as a Black lady. I don't know if you knew you was Black, so I'm throwing it out there as a Black lady, because you kept saying being in situations. See, us, we're younger, and I never ran into a situation like that in Annapolis. But when I first joined the military, when I went to Georgia, was the first time somebody told me that we don't serve your kind here at a restaurant.
Right.
I didn't know what she was talking about. It's 1979. I thought we was beyond that, But anyway, for the trials and tribulations that you went through, and for standing strong when the wind was tearing down the trees and everything, I want to say thank you. And I'm going to pass it on to Armin, because he want to talk about when you was the queen. You always was the queen, but when you held on to the Miss Maryland thing for like 8 or 9 years, I think. Maybe I wrote it down.
I had one more question.
Hold on,
Roger, I would say, Roger, we missed you.
What happened? For 5 seconds? You know what I did? I made my grandson cut his wife off. He come out here now. He trying to complain. Keep it moving.
Go ahead, Armand.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna I'm gonna give it to Deneen. She can give it to Roger, and then I'm gonna talk to both you and your husband. Okay, Miss.
Oh, that's right. I'm gonna be really quick. But I wanted to tell Roger that while he was gone, she was talking about some of the students that she had that were very that she remembers, like that's those couple students that were just so, they were so learning, so growing, all of those things. And she remembered those kids. She was talking about it, so it lined up right with what you were saying. But the one question I had, just last question, was tell us what it means to be a Kappa Alpha Psi sweetheart. Tell us what's that? What is that? What's that all about?
Okay. It's a group of guys who just love me to death.
and the husband sitting right
let me
there.
tell you what happened. I was Kappa's sweetheart when I moved to New Jersey out of college. I'm walking down what's that main street? The main street in downtown Newark, New Jersey. And somebody said Cheeks.
Uh-oh.
And I was like, ooh, that must be somebody from my past. And he did that Kappa yell, whatever. And I said, turned around, and sure enough, it was someone who had gone to Maryland State when I was there. But no matter, even now, I occasionally will come across a few persons. I met one of them at a luncheon. He said, "You still my sweetheart?" I said, "Not anymore. I'm everybody's." But it was just a warm, protected like feeling. And I realized not long after I got to Maryland State that I needed this type of nurturing and family, because I had to, how do you say it? It's like taking a bath, wash off all of the stuff.
Right.
I had even gotten to the point that you could say anything to me and it didn't bother. And I would say that to my mother, and she said, "Oh, it's bothering you, but you've conditioned yourself how to deal with it."
That's it. I'm gonna pass it over to Roger, but I do want you to just think about this. Why it's so important for, I mean, what's the greatest thing about going to a HBCU?
The greatest thing about going to an HBCU is they expect for you to succeed. They expect for you to know how to act. They expect for you to deliver. They expect for you to pull up the next generation. They expect for you, as long as you're living, breathing, whatever, to represent.
I love that. I love that. That just kind of reminded me of my trip to Kenya. That's how I felt when I was in Kenya. That's how they live. That's their culture. So thank you for that.
Good. Is it my turn now? Because you can't say you passing and then ask another question. Those two don't go together. You know.
All right, my bad.
Now pass it to somebody. I'm done. We'll work on it. Ever since she was crowned the Queen of Uganda, she ain't been acting right. Umunda with Eddie Murphy and them. Ever since she was a Queen of Umunda, she ain't been acting right. But you know, I'm gonna go ahead. I don't really have no questions. I just want to say one thing. It was definitely an honor to meet you, and reading your bio was definitely amazing pastime for me. I do a lot of reading. I got a bunch of books, and to see that someone that looked like, I would say look like me, but you way better than me, with the same copper tone skin that I got. My grandfather never said black. He used to always say copper tone. We copper tone. So with the same copper tone skin that we got, to be so successful in that time is just totally amazing. So if it's never been said, I want to say for all of us, we appreciate you and thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yes.
So now, Theresa, where's the king?
Where's the what?
Your king.
Oh, come here, honey.
There you go.
Here's my king.
Hey, there you go. Now, before we get to this round, I want you to know that Tate is determined to let you know that he's here. Is that your son, Tate?
Who?
Yes, that's our oldest.
That's your oldest, right? He's determined. Well, welcome to the show, Tate. Now, first question to you, King. What was your spouse wearing? And this is for both of you to answer. What was your spouse wearing on the first date?
On the first, you trying to get that man in trouble?
He remembers.
Remember, she was a sweetheart.
That's right.
I got this. She was wearing a green outfit.
Is that right?
It was at a bull roast.
Oh, awesome. Is that right, Theresa?
That's correct.
Okay. And the funny thing about it, that's when I got her phone number, right? Okay. She wrote it down on this little piece of paper.
A ticket.
A ticket. I kept that ticket for 2 months before I called her. And I still had the same ticket.
Awesome.
Had to get brave enough to speak to the sweetheart.
Yes.
Yeah. So Theresa.
And permission from her brother.
Boom.
Oh, okay. Now it's your turn, Theresa. What was your spouse wearing?
I don't remember.
Oh.
I really don't remember.
Black suit on.
He had a suit on because he was in the choir and they all wore suits. The choir members had black suits on.
Is that right? Now did you say you were at a bull roast?
Say that again.
We were at a bull roast.
We were at a bull roast.
And you had a suit on at a bull roast?
He had a suit on.
Because he was a member of the choir, right?
They were the host.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah, it was a black suit because David had on a black suit.
Right.
Because we went to a funeral right after the bull roast.
So who was the first to apologize?
Uh-oh.
My husband.
I'm always
good man. He's a good man. That's a good man.
Yeah, you always apologize. Sometimes I'll be honest, I never apologize.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
I just do things to show that I'm apologetic, like a special meal.
Acts of service, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I like that. Okay. All right. Now, would your spouse say he married up or you did?
Ooh.
I say I married up. I'm gonna answer that to keep out of trouble.
I married up too. No, I think I married up also.
Oh, see, this is why y'all still together. Right. This is what
I married up because he's the man. And
Boom.
the man knows how to treat the lady, even when the person is not acting like a lady. But he's the man. I know I married up.
You know, Wayne, my prayer, you got my prayers, brother, because that Miss Maryland State seems to come out quite a bit, doesn't it?
If only you knew.
Yeah, but he can handle it.
She's the greatest.
Gotta be a strong man to be able to handle a woman like that. So I applaud you.
You're strong,
saying
man.
all the right things, and I can tell why you guys are together. Way to represent.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
What
it's a group effort, and they're a great team, and that's our.
What we're gonna do now? We're gonna allow you to close us out with whatever encouraging word you want to say to the people that's still out there, and especially to this brother named Silk Sims. He's a Marine, so I want you to really say something encouraging to that brother because he went to the wrong branch of service.
Yeah, because all of us are the Army.
So, but now before you do so, I just want to let everybody know to come back next week. We're gonna have another great guest. We're gonna have Senator Hanson, history making senator in the house, and earlier that day at 9:30, 10 o'clock, I will be her guest in the chamber, in the Senate chambers. Hey,
pictures.
Yeah,
yes, he plus one in it up. He plus one in everywhere.
Hey.
So the floor is yours, Theresa and Wayne. Go ahead, Wayne.
You go ahead.
Thanks. You sure?
Yes.
See, okay. Love him.
I was when I was asked to do this, I really didn't think any more about it for a while. And then when I settled down into what I call one of my thinking really modes, I was like, I am a legend. I have done something. Yeah. I have, and then I remembered from my church, New Psalmist. Yes. I do what I do. I'm kind of turning it around to make someone else's life better. Not only my children, not my husband, but every human being that I touch. And when I say to make it better, even the adults that I'm treating like children because I'm trying to make their life better. And when making someone else's life better, I'm the one reaping all of the reward.
Yes.
When no matter what you have been through in life, there's always light shining. No matter what you think is against you, There's all when I did when my son did genealogy on our family, I was like, oh, when I really looked at some of my great grandparents' pictures, ooh, you know, and I still say I'm thankful. I'm thankful for whatever hand was dealt me, but I'm the one who has to play it. And what I hope that a lot of individuals will remember that you're here for a purpose. There's nothing that can really stop you but you. Learn how to love yourself first before you try to love somebody else.
Right.
Boom.
And
Absolutely.
always remember, you have the power. You have the power of love, faithfulness, loyalty, trust. You have abilities. All you have to do is just settle down a little and use it. You have ideas. You have growth. You know, we have a lot of people who are very great just because they don't have a title or this or that. We have a lot of great people.
Right.
Sometimes we need to just take a look to the right, look to the left. Look at all of these people who have helped in some way or other nurture your life to be where you are.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're better together.
Yes, yes.
Absolutely.
Well, there you have it. Come back next week. Thank you, Theresa, for being on the show, and your husband. Thank you for participating in the newlywed game.
Yes. All
Not
right,
only
thank
dream,
you.
but win it. Win it.
Oh.
That's right. That's
Well,
right.
I want to thank you guys for being a blessing to this queen here. Thank you for your inspiration. It was very uplifting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Roger said it all. You got generations. You'll be with generations to come.
I hope so.
Everybody out there, see you next week.
Okay.
Peace.
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 Looking forward to your